Okay, we are live. We are live. Let's have a look. Just need to get on the right part of YouTube. The problem is they've changed the creator side, and I need to kind of get used to everything again. Okay, my channel. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So wait for a few people to get in here. Okay. The weekend is nearly upon us. We've got some fights coming up. So I think I'll have a quick chat about the fights and go off. But yeah, it's not going to be a long live stream. Just a quick one. A quick live stream. Half an hour, 45 minutes or so. The boxing actually starts tomorrow. You've got Daniel Dubois. He's coming back to the ring. He's fighting Razvan Kajanu. Anthony Yard's fighting as well. So there's a couple of bits to look out for tomorrow. And on Saturday, we have Porter versus Ugas, which is actually a really good fight, in my opinion. I think that's a good fight. Okay, let's quickly close that. I've got so many tabs open. Let's get rid of that. What else we got open? Yeah, half of this stuff can get closed. Yeah, they've changed YouTube on the creator side, and it's really annoying. I don't like the changes, to be honest. You get used to something, and you know where everything is, and it all changes. What's up, William Jones? How you doing? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'll try and do them more often. I like doing them, to be honest. A bit more interaction than the usual videos. Yeah, I like doing them. I wasn't sure at first whether I'd enjoy it, but yeah, I quite like doing them, to be honest. It's good just to kick back and chat, to be honest. Talk boxing, kind of talk about what's going on this weekend. Yeah, I like to hear boxing talk. Like even if it's like a playback, I'll listen to podcasts throughout my day. Yeah, it's good to listen to. I like boxing talk. We've got 4 people watching now. 5 people watching. I think Johnson will win. William Jones. I think Johnson. He's got more in the tank. Shaun Monahan's nearly 40 years old. I think Johnson, like I say, he's got more in the tank. I think he's a better boxer in general, more power, and yeah, he's hungrier. So I think Johnson is going to win. It's whether he can get the stoppage or not. Marcus Brown, he knocked out Shaun Monahan quite early, but Sullivan Barrera, he couldn't really put a dent in Monahan. So I'm not really sure how durable Monahan is, to be honest. Can Johnson get the stoppage? I think he can. I think he hits hard enough to knock Monahan out. Um, I think Johnson by late stoppage in that fight. And then I think what you'll see is after Johnson Monahan, you'll see Johnson fight Bivol, providing Bivol beats Joe Smith Jr. And of course, that fight's this weekend. Bivol versus Joe Smith. That's a decent fight, I suppose. Thank you, Nosy Boy. Opinion on Peter Milas, the Croatian prospect? Yeah, he's good. Obviously, at heavyweight, um, I don't put him in the same league as Filip Hrgovic, but he's an interesting prospect. He's still very young. I believe he's 22 or 23 years old. He's quite fluid for a heavyweight, decent hand speed, decent foot speed, decent combinations, a good athlete. Yeah, I think Peter Milas is a good prospect. I think he's a good prospect. Oh yeah, definitely William Brown. He's definitely above Johnson. But yeah, Johnson can punch. He can. And yeah, I think Johnson versus Bivol. I think that's the next fight at light heavyweight on the zone. Johnson versus Bivol. Thoughts on Tony Yoka from Ruben Guerrero? I think he's a solid prospect. Good hand speed. Obviously, a good amateur. Decent technical skills. Something tells me that he won't handle pressure very well, but that remains to be seen. I'm kind of unconvinced, but I think he's a good prospect. He's solid enough. He's got quick hands. He's got good athletic ability. He's one of the better prospects at heavyweight, but I don't put him on the same level as Hrgovic or Ajagba, to be quite honest. And yeah, F.A. Ajagba versus Mansour this weekend. That's a good little step up. Good fight. Yeah, Callum Johnson versus Sullivan Barrera. That's a great fight. I'd love to see that. I really would. Sullivan Barrera right now, he's struggling to get fights. I follow him on Twitter, and yeah, he's he kind of voices his displeasure at boxing right now. He's not getting the fights. He's been in talks with the likes of Kovalev and Anthony Yarde, but those fights are not coming off for him, and he's getting a bit frustrated from what I can see. But yeah, Callum Johnson versus Barrera would be a great fight. Daniel Sanchez, massive puncher at 160. I've not seen him fight. I've heard of the name, but I've not seen any footage yet. I'll have to check him out. Yeah, I agree, William Jones. I think Johnson he'll go straight into world title level after Monahan. Buatsi versus Barrera. That's a great test for Buatsi. Risky fight, but a great test. I'd love to see it. I think Barrera's a good fighter. Barrera, like, he doesn't do anything special, but, he's got a good jab, good long right hand, carries decent power, technically fairly well rounded. Barrera's a good, solid pro. And if you're not at a certain level, he can beat you. Yeah, desperate times for Barrera. I like Barrera. He's a good pro. Seems like a pretty down to earth fighter as well. And yeah, I'll have to check out Sanchez. I've heard the name, like I said, but I've not seen him. I'm doing a series on prospects anyway, so that's a name I can look at. I think the next prospect I will cover is Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson. Some of the more obvious ones to begin with. Yeah, Hosea Burton versus Craig Richards. That's a good fight. I was impressed with Craig Richards last time out against Jake Ball. I felt he showed some real signs of improvements. He was punching harder. He was looking quite quick. Yeah, I was impressed with Johnson last time out. And based on that performance, I would pick him to beat Burton, to be honest. And do you think the winner of Burton versus Richards will then go on to fight Buatsi? Yeah, I can see that. Oh, Hashman, you don't think we'll see it? I think Richards versus Buatsi is a good fight. I'd like to see it. Yeah, I mean, Jake Paul just got beat up that night. He got destroyed. Craig Richards, he's a good pro. He'll fight anybody. He proved that against Bullioni on like a week's notice, and he gave it a good go. He gave Bullioni a tough fight, and I think if they ran that back, I think Richards would have won. To be honest. Yeah, I agree, Hashman. I think Spider wins that. John 99. I think Stevenson has better boxing skills than Haney, but I think Haney is more gifted athletically. Yeah, I can see why you say that. I like the attitude of both fighters, to be honest. I think both guys have their heads screwed on correctly. Both guys seem quite mature for their age, and they're developing nicely. Shakur Stevenson has come on a long way since he turned pro. When he turned pro, he had that amateur style still, wasn't punching very hard, but Shakur Stevenson now has really kind of settled into the pro game. He's more aggressive. He's punching harder, and I think he's coming on well. And as for Devin Haney, again, I've been relatively impressed with what I've seen. To be honest, yeah, I think they're both good prospects. I like both of them. Ruben Guerrero, another British fighter for Yard to Duck. Yeah, Fuen Long Meng. Yep, he beat Bullioni decisively in Monaco. That's a good shout, actually. Maybe Boazzi should be looking at him. Good shout. I forgot that name. Yeah, he schooled Bullioni. That's a good shout. Tricky southpaw as well, from what I remember. Yeah, Stevenson versus Christopher Diaz. Christopher Diaz recently fought for a title against Ito. So yeah, that's a good step up. I like Shakur Stevenson. He's impressed me a lot, and it's more of a mindset and the attitude. To be honest, he's got his head screwed on. And he looks up to Terence Crawford, Andre Ward. They're guys who will keep him. They're guys who will keep him on the light straight and narrow. So yeah, I like what's going on with Stevenson right now. To be honest. Yeah, Meng is pretty decent. He's a good boxer. Yeah, I like Stevenson. I wasn't sure when he first turned pro, to be honest. Like I said, the first couple of fights, didn't look like he was punching hard. He got hit a bit, and you could tell he was kind of transitioning from the amateurs. But the last few performances have been really impressive. Yeah, I like Stevenson. I do. Teofimo Lopez versus Luke Campbell for Mikey's vacant WBC belt. I'd watch it. I'd watch it. Now, I think we'd all pick Teofimo Lopez, but Campbell would be a step up. I think Campbell, he's a solid fighter, but I would pick Lopez to beat him. But a good test. Teofimo Lopez, he's fighting Edis Tatley soon. Edis Tatley's a decent fighter. He ran Richard Abril quite close. Richard Abril was a decent fighter back in the day. He fought him for a world title, lost a majority decision, and also he beat Francisco Patera in a rematch a little while back. So Edis Tatley's a good fighter, and I think that's a good step up for Lopez right now. Yep, Stevenson, yeah, he's in the gang. Crawford, yeah, Richardson as well. Hitchens, yeah. Felix Verdejo and Erickson Lubin were both promising prospects. I still believe they're going to be world champions in the future. I was impressed with Lubin against Ishe Smith. He was the first man to stop Ishe. Ishe's a tough guy. I know Ishay's old, but that was a good win, getting the knockout. Lubin's still very young, so yeah, I think he can come back. As for Felix Verdejo, I'm not sure, to be honest. Who do I think will win, Bermane Stiverne or Anthony Joshua? Oh, what are we talking about? A boxing match or a buffet eating competition? What are we talking about? Because Bermane Stiverne at the buffet table, I mean, he's going to be hard to beat. With 2 more fights against solid opposition, how do you see Teofimo Lopez doing against Lomachenko? I think he's got his work cut out. Technically, there's still a few things I want to see from Lopez. I want to see a good jab. I want to see him, against a guy who can move. I want to see him against different styles before I kind of make my pick. But right now, I would favour Lomachenko in a big way. That's a good question, John99. Do you think if Anthony Yard doesn't increase his level of competition, there's a chance he may waste his athletic prime a little since he's 27, 28? That's a good point. It's a very good question, actually. There may be that chance because he's a guy who obviously has hand speed. He's a guy who has quick reactions. He kind of relies on that athletic ability. So maybe there is that chance that maybe he kind of holds back for too long. And when he does step up, he's not the guy he was. But yeah, maybe. I've got a feeling we're going to see Yard in a big fight soon. I've got to be honest. After this Travis Reeves fight, I think they are going to step him up. Just the feeling I get. I don't think they can carry on the current, rate of progress for too long because I think people are getting a bit annoyed. Felix Verdejo still only 25. Jesus, I thought he was older than that. Yeah, I recall him on the come up, and at one point he was looking really good, but obviously he had injuries. He had that motorcycle accident, and that really kind of set him back. He was supposed to fight Terry Flanagan at one point, Verdejo. That would have been a good fight, actually. An eating competition. Yeah, Bermane Stiverne beats AJ in an eating competition. If Joyce were to fight Ortiz next, who do you see winning? I felt Ortiz looked pretty poor against Christian Hammer, I've got to be honest. But he is still far more proven as a pro than Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is quite open defensively. He does get hit. I would favour Ortiz, but not in a big way, because if Joyce gets on top of Ortiz and makes it a tough fight, then I think Joyce could break Ortiz's heart, to be quite honest. Yeah, Yard with Frank Warren, there's not too many options domestically that side of the street. Yeah, I think I would favour Dillian White now against Ortiz. I think Ortiz. I think Luis Ortiz. I think you can break his heart. I do. Make it a tough fight. Go down to that body, make him gas, and take him out. Because Ortiz gassed against Deontay Wilder, and that wasn't fought at a high pace. It wasn't at all. And Ortiz still gassed. Ortiz was gassing against Christian Hammer. If somebody like Dillian can get on top of him, work the body, make it rough and tough, then yeah, Ortiz can definitely gas. And then I think Dillian will take him out late on. Yeah, I saw that Guilty Simpson. Paulie Malignaggi signing a bare knuckle fight contract. Jesus. I'll watch it just out of curiosity. I'll watch Paulie fight bare knuckle. Can Paulie's hands even stand up to it? Hashman boxing. I don't like Marcus Brown at all, but he's a dangerous fighter at 175. He was 194 pounds when he faced Badu Jack. Jesus. He's a big light heavyweight then. He's big and tall. He's quick as well. He's a problem, southpaw, he can box, he's quick, he's got respectable power. Marcus Brown is a problem for anybody, in my opinion. Going into the Badu Jack fight, I picked Badu Jack, I can't lie, but I did say in my prediction that Marcus Brown is more than a live dog. And, I felt that Marcus Brown on the come up, he blew hot and cold. So it was kind of hard to see how good he was. But when Marcus Brown looked good, he looked great. When he looked bad, he looked bad. So it was kind of hard to gauge where Marcus Brown was at going into that Badu Jack fight. But post Badu Jack, he's worth following. William Jones, Ortiz needs to cash out now with a Wilder rematch or an AJ fight. Yeah, I agree. He was looking old last time out. He needs to cash out. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, John 99. I agree. I think Marcus Brown is the dark horse at 175. Paulie carries too much power. A punch without gloves will wreck his hand. Morgan Jones versus Anthony Fox. Wasn't Morgan Jones supposed to fight Cody Davis? And Cody Davis pulled out due to personal reasons. But yeah, Anthony Fox, if he's the guy I'm thinking of, he's a really good journeyman. And Morgan Jones has been beat before. So you never know. Charles Martin versus Gregory Corbin on the undercard of Spence versus Garcia. That's from Levi Khan. I've not seen anything of Gregory Corbin, so I'll need to check him out. I know he's old. He's 38 years old. So what does he have left? Who knows? But that's a good fight. I'll watch it. Corbin's undefeated. I think he's 15-0 or something like that. Or a fantasy matchup with Lomachenko versus Mayweather at 135. Who would I pick? I've got to go with Floyd, to be honest. Mayweather at 135 was a problem. Power, speed, length, great boxing ability. He was great at 135. Liam Williams versus Joe Mullender. I think Liam Williams, he should outbox Mullender. Late stoppage, in my opinion. Oh, yeah. Yard should take care of business, and we'll go from there. Unrivaled boxing talk and news. I'm raging. Why are you raging? Yeah, I mentioned that the other day, Hashman. A lot of American channels like Anthony Yard, but he's not beating Marcus Brown. No way. I wouldn't confidently pick some of the champions against Marcus Brown, let alone Anthony Yard. Yard's a good fighter. Sorry, Brown's a good fighter. And Yard's a good fighter, to be fair, but he's just unproven. Anthony Durrell moving up to 175. Yeah, I'd be concerned. He's getting smashed to bits if that happens. You say a Jagba versus Mansour is a sorry, yeah, a Jagba versus Mansour. You say it's a disgrace, but at least Mansour comes in shape. I mean, what's worse, Mansour getting licensed or Chris Arreola getting licensed? And I know there's like a decade apart in age, but I bet Mansour's got more left. I bet Mansour would beat Arreola right now. John 99, the Spence versus Garcia pay-per-view is a rip-off. Can't believe it's 74.95. Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy stuff. Is anybody looking forward to that fight, by the way? Is anybody coming round to it? I still can't get my head around it, personally. I'm still not feeling it. Dubois versus Kajanu fight prediction. UD or KO for Dubois? Um, Good question. I've got a feeling Dubois is going to stop him, to be honest. I think you'll see Dubois in this fight work the body a lot more. I think he will learn from the Kevin Johnson fight. He's already fought like a negative spoiler. So fighting another negative guy, I think he's going to have more of an idea what to do. And I think you'll see Dubois get the stoppage, to be honest. I know what you mean, unrivaled boxing talk. It's hard to even talk about heavyweights right now. I mean, we're talking about the fights we're not getting rather than the fights we are getting. Do you know what I mean? And it's just annoying. Denzil Bentley fighting on the Yard Reeves undercard, 8-0 with 7 knockouts. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on him. I always like looking at new prospects, to be honest. Yeah, Morgan Jones. Yeah, he got knocked out by William Warburton. He also got knocked out by some guy on the Joshua Parker undercard, from what I remember. I know plenty of guys in their late 40s who go to the gym. Doesn't mean they should be boxing. Yeah, that's a good point. A Jagba could seriously injure Mansour. He's 46, nearly 47. I know what you mean, man, but I mean, there could be worse fights for Mansour to take. Lewis Neary versus Mukjo Arroyo. That's a decent fight. I think Neary should win. Mukjo Arroyo, he's a tough guy, but he's kind of came up short at higher level. So I'm picking Neary. Oh yeah, Joe Pigford, Hashman Boxing. I remember him. He fought Morgan. Yeah, Morgan Jones. Sorry, I was thinking of somebody else for some reason. Who was I thinking of? But yeah, Joe Pigford. Yeah. You're right. Hang on, I'm going to box rec Morgan Jones. 1 second. I was thinking of someone else then. I was thinking about the guy who got knocked out on the undercard of Joshua Parker, the Welsh kid. Morgan Jones boxer. This is going to bug me. I want to see his box rec. No, that is the guy, Morgan Jones. He got knocked out by Amatagi Jr. on the undercard of Parker versus Joshua. Okay, I'm getting confused. Yeah, Frank Warren let him go. Joe Pigford. Jesus. Pigford, he was a limited guy, but he's exciting. I'll add you in, unrivaled. I'm not. I'm going to be on for like another 45 minutes at max, though. That's the only thing. Right, I've invited you, mate. Junior Farr, Ruben Guerrero. He blows hot and cold. 1 minute he'll knock somebody out in a round. The next he'll labour to a 10-round point decision. I mean, he's kind of hard to read. I know he's been in bad health recently, but I'm not really that high on him, to be honest. I've got to be honest. Day JR Smile, Porter versus Ugas. Porter points or late stoppage, Porter. Good fight, though.
What's up, bro?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Had a tough gym session, but good.
Nice, man. Mate, but this year I've been slacking on the gym. It's been non-existent. We need to start again. We need to start again. Summer's coming, so
Mate, I'm at a trim and lean 234.
fair play, man. I just need to tone up. It's not about. I've been the same weight since I've been like 18, mate, without really working. But I need to tone up again.
At the worst weight I've ever been at is 310 pounds, mate.
Man,
I'm a big dude though. Like I'm 6'5", you know. So, but I stopped boxing for like over a year.
Yeah.
So because of that, like you know yourself, it can really get to you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm telling you, man. Too many kebabs, too many points, too many shots.
Exactly, that's the thing though. Like 1 week at the gym turns into 2, then it's a month. You know, then it's a steady slope. Yeah.
And you turn into a kebab, don't you? Just for a kebab.
You turn into Erkan Tefa. Jesus. But yeah, man.
Right now I'm 234, man. 234 is quite good for me.
It's good, man. It's good weight. Is that your fighting weight or?
Yeah. I normally fight around 230 to 235.
That's not bad, man. See where you should be. Fair play, man. Fair play. Fat apples on all the recent Olympic heavyweights. Who do you think is going to go furthest? Hrgovic, I'd say. Would you agree with that?
Or a Jagba.
Yeah, or a Jagba. Yeah,
I think a Jagba can go very far.
So do I. Yep, I agree.
Because at the end of the day, one-punch knockout power has been proven to take people miles in boxing.
Exactly, man. Look at Deontay Wilder. I mean, he's done more than I thought.
Fuck Wilder. Look at Ernie Shavers, man.
Well, exactly. I mean, he could knock out any heavyweight in history without one punch on any given night. You know, it can take you a long way.
Even Muhammad Ali said that the hardest one punch he's ever seen in his entire life was going with a man called Ernie Shavers. Says a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Nice.
And he fought Foreman and Frazier, who were no small punchers themselves.
No, he fought a whole host of punches. Yeah, exactly. No, it's true. We discussed all the fights, didn't we, last stream? But I think you've got.
Yeah, we talked a lot of them.
Yeah, we did. We didn't mention Mansour versus the Jagba. Do you think that's a good step up, or do you think it's
I'm in two minds about it. I think Mansour is really coming to the end of his tether.
Yeah.
You mentioned that he always comes in shape. The worst shape of his entire career was in his fight against Hrgovic. He was fat.
Yeah, he wasn't.
His gut was hanging. Gut was hanging. That's a bad sign. He's 46. He ain't getting younger. He's starting to talk a lot slower as well, though.
Yeah.
So I don't like that. But it's a step up.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, who did you say Mansour could beat? Somebody mentioned somebody. You think, man? Mate, that's a distinct possibility. Mansour could probably still beat Ariola. He ain't bad. He's actually a very good boxer. I think it's a good step up. I reckon the Jagba's going to KO him, and I think it'll either be the end of his career or we're going to see a very bad decline of Mansour.
Yeah, I think you'll see him just sell himself for a knockout, basically. You know how, like Maurice Harris, he just sells himself for a knockout now and again. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what you'll see with Mansour, unfortunately. And he done well for himself considering he was in prison for God knows how long, 10 plus years. I think he's in prison for over 10 years, Mansour.
Yeah, and I think it was 10, 11 years.
Yeah, he done well to come back to even have any sort of career. So, yeah, shout out to him. Good fighter, man. I liked his fight with Steve Cunningham. That was a really good fight.
That's an amazing fight, actually.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, guys, do go and watch that fight. Steve Cunningham, Amir Mansour.
I felt he got hard done by in that fight, from what I remember. Steve Cunningham, man. Steve Cunningham himself was a really underrated, underappreciated fighter.
Especially at cruiserweight. He's a phenomenal cruiser.
Yeah, he's a great cruiserweight. Done some good things, man. Stopped Micah Hook. It's no mean feat.
Oh, yeah.
First guy to beat him. Yeah. Good cruiserweight, man. Good cruiserweight. It's a shame
he says a lot. it says a lot for Cunningham. When you look at Andrew Tabiti's resume, and Steve Cunningham's the best name on it, and he's actually had a win over a top 15 cruiserweight. Yeah. Cunningham's still the best on it.
Yeah. No, Cunningham, man, was a stalwart in that division for years. I mean, Tyson Fury gave him a lot of credit. Do you see on the Joe Rogan podcast, basically he said that...
He said it's the best opponent he's ever faced.
Yeah. So, goes to show Cunningham was a great fighter.
I actually believe that too, by the way. Cunningham was I don't think he's the best opponent. I think he gave Fury the toughest night of his career.
Yeah, most
I think Klitschko is really the best opponent.
Yeah.
But Cunningham presented a whole host of different difficulties.
Yeah, quicker, small target, defensively sound.
Accurate.
Yeah, accurate. Yeah, quick guy, man. Quick guy.
Hell of a...
Fury, before that fight, had never seen that speed, and he won't see it since. So, yeah, a one-off tough fight that was. Levi Khan, he reckons Areola beats Mansour. I think Areola is shot to bits, mate.
He could beat him. No, let's be real. That's kind of a close fight.
Yeah, it is a close fight. It is, but I just reckon Mansour knocks him out.
I don't know. It really depends on what he's got left, man. He looked complete. He looked shot to bits against Sergevich too.
He did look shot to bits. Yeah, he did.
Mm.
Do you know Areola's fighting actually on the undercard of Spence versus Garcia? He's fighting some prospect, some 17-0 heavyweight.
What's his name? The heavyweight?
I think it's Jean-Pierre Augustin or something like that.
He's good.
I've never seen him.
He ain't bad.
I think he's from Haiti.
I've seen him on the undercard of something before. Can't remember what it was. And he looked all right to me.
Yeah, Areola, man. Fucking years ago, he was a contender. Like, he was supposed to challenge Vitali and Vlad, and never turned out to be anything really, did he? Like, when Thomas Adamek had his way with him, you knew he weren't shit. I know Adamek was a good fighter, but Adamek was no heavyweight.
He was never a heavyweight.
Nah, never. It's horrible watching Adamek take a beating by Vitali. Do you remember that fight?
Of course I do. I remember that was yesterday.
Took an absolute pasting. But
Vitali's a real heavyweight.
Yeah, Jesus, mate. Yeah, massive heavyweight.
Like, at the end of the day, Vitali was what, 6'6", 6'7", 240, 245?
Big guy, man.
He was big.
Yeah.
He was bigger than Lennox.
Yeah, I know. Big, tall, lanky guy, a lot of power, strong, durable.
And even though people bring up the excuse that Lennox wasn't really prepared for Vlad, Vitali fucked him up.
He did, yeah. He did.
What a fight that was.
A great fight. Fucking Vitali's face was hanging off. That's the fight that kind of shook him of that.
Catapulted. Catapulted him.
Because before then, he was kind of seen as a quitter, weren't he, after the Chris Bird fight. But that Lennox fight really kind of redeemed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his face was hanging off. It's a shame. It's a shame we never got a rematch, but I can see why Lennox went out, to be honest.
Lennox was on his way out. He was getting old.
Yeah. No, Lennox,
he went out on his own terms. I got to respect him for that.
Yeah, exactly.
I can always respect a boxer for leaving on their feet.
And he was never really close to coming back. You heard a couple of rumors here and there, but nothing.
He always dismissed them.
Yeah. Great. It's like Joe Calzaghe as well. He was another one. Never really any prospect of him coming back. But very
Joe Calzaghe achieved everything he wanted to achieve.
Yep. 100%. Great fighter.
2-weight world champion, retired 46-0. You can't knock it.
And arguably the best 168-pounder of all time. You can make that argument, yeah. You can say Andre Ward.
Did you say arguably a pound for pounder of that time or of all time?
No. Best 168-pounder of all time. The best super middleweight.
You can argue with Andre Ward.
Yeah. You can argue Andre Ward. but I'd say longevity with Calzaghe goes a long way. I think. I know he had a few bad defenses here and there, but he beat who he kind of needed to.
I just think Calzaghe's biggest wins were at 175.
Yeah.
And like his biggest wins, like I'm pretty sure Roy Jones was at 175. Who else was at 175? Lacey was at 175 and B-Hop was at 175.
No, Lacey was at 168.
Lacey was at 175.
Nah. Because Lacey had one of the belts, didn't he? Didn't he have the IBF?
The IBF, yeah.
Nah, it's 168.
Are you sure?
I'm sure it's 168, mate. Yeah. Because he only brought...
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the last two fights were light heavyweight, and that was it. The only two light heavyweight fights he had. Against Jones and Hopkins.
I'm pretty sure Lacey was built as the light heavyweight Tyson.
Nah, it's definitely 168. Because he beat Robin Reed, didn't he, Lacey? Beforehand.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is super middleweight. My bad.
No.
Oh, you're completely right. Yeah.
Do you remember the hype? Do you remember that fight being on ITV? All the hype, like Lacey.
I do.
Yeah.
No, you're completely right. Afterwards, he beat Bika, didn't he?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a crazy
you're completely right.
He came over like with all the reputation. Showtime, like basically, convinced he was going to win, and it fucking just got schooled, got beat up.
He also beat Kessler at super middleweight.
Yeah.
Bika, Lacey, Viet, Salim. He's got a good resume, like an alright one. Like,
I mean, like, he beat like who he had to, apart from Sven Otka, and Sven Otka never really wanted to fight anybody. So,
Sven Otke.
Yeah.
I remember that fucking cunt.
He had like the robbery against Robin Reed was disgusting, wasn't it? Absolutely disgusting. Robin Reed beat him, and Robin Reed ran like somebody in the chat said. Who was it? Guilty Simpson. Yeah, Calzaghe ran very close by Robin Reed.
That was a split decision.
Decision. Yeah. Robin Reed was a good fighter.
Sven Otke, yeah? He had 34 wins, no losses, and 6 wins by KO.
Yeah, and he iced Mundine. Do you see that knockout? He iced Mundine with like 6 knockouts, and yeah.
Oh, yeah. He did actually, yeah.
Because Mundine at times showed a good chin. Like against Kessler, he took some big shots, but Mundine just got iced by Otka. Really weird.
I don't know. That was just a great shot.
Yeah.
In the pros, anyone can knock you out.
Yeah, exactly. That perfect shot, and that's it. To be fair to Sven Otka, he was a decent fighter. He just didn't really step outside of his comfort zone. He could box. He was crafty. But just didn't really fight top competition for the most part. This is one for you. Hashman Boxing, he asks, Michael Nunn versus Joe Calzaghe at 168, who wins?
All right, so I think Calzaghe's amount of volume will cause Nunn problems.
Yeah.
And Nunn's lost and Calzaghe hasn't, which will always play a part in that. But, however, I think Nunn had enough power, and he also was awkward enough to throw Calzaghe's rhythm off, and I think he might have stopped him in the later rounds.
Yeah, Michael Nunn himself was a great boxer, wasn't he? I mean,
a tremendous boxer puncher.
He was outboxing James Toney quite handily until he got knocked out.
Yeah, it'd be a very tight fight, but I do think Nunn might be able to knock Calzaghe out. Yeah. If it's prime for prime. You see, the thing with Calzaghe is I never saw him against great fighters in their prime.
Yeah, that's a good point. You could argue Kessler's prime.
Kessler, yeah. But is Kessler a Roy Jones or a B-Hop?
Oh, no.
Exactly. And is he a Eubank in his prime? Eubank in his prime would have been a bit.
But to be fair to Joe, I think Eubank was just a favourable style matchup for Joe anyway.
That's true, but could you imagine Roy Jones Jr., prime Roy against Joe? No question.
I'd be pretty convinced Joe knocks him out. Sorry, no. Sorry, Roy knocks him out.
Whoa, I'd be pretty convinced Joe knocks him out. Joe couldn't even knock out a faded Roy Jones.
No, exactly. No, Roy he'd be too much. I think one fight you could favour. Well, I would favour Joe Calzaghe in, and it could be controversial. Is James Toney? I think the volume of Calzaghe will give Toney.
I think Toney always struggled with massive amounts of volume. I think it would have been a tremendous fight, but once again, I could see Toney knocking his ass out.
I could see Toney pulling off a Michael Nunn type win where he's behind on the cards and knocking him out. On the other hand, I could see Joe just outworking him.
They're all great fights. I think Toney's best was at middleweight, personally.
Oh yeah, the Barkley performance in particular, man.
Exactly. So
I was watching that back the other day, and Toney on the ropes, man, his hand speed was fucking crazy. Like the way he put his shots together and he was piecing Barkley up. His face was a fucking mess. That was a great performance. James Toney, good watch.
Can I give a little trivia question to the people in the chat?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm pretty sure my picture's going to come up on the screen whenever I'm talking. So I'm wondering if they're able to tell me who the picture is, what the name of the guy is. So if anybody, the quickest person to answer, fair play, because that's not an easy question.
We'll help keep an eye on the chat. Yeah, Hashman. Yeah, Sven Otkay. Yeah, didn't unify. Yeah, he was hiding most of the time. He fought Glenn Johnson, but yeah, didn't really fight too many great opponents. Yeah, he knocked out Sumbo Kalambe. Yeah,
did indeed.
That was in the first round, wasn't it? Was it in the first round when he knocked out Kalambe?
I can't remember, if I'm being honest with you.
I'm sure yeah.
I haven't looked at none in a while, man.
Yeah, Guilty Simpsons, he says in the chat, Tiberi, he outboxed Toney and got robbed, yeah. That's horrible.
Yeah, that was the unlicensed one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were unlicensed judges, if I remember correctly. Has anyone guessed, by the way?
A Hashman guessed Sugar Ray Robinson.
No.
Archie Moore, he guessed as well.
No. Good try, though.
Yeah, it was. Kalambe got knocked out in a round by Michael Nunn. Yeah, first.
It was in the first 60 seconds, wasn't
it? Yeah.
Yeah, fucking hell.
And Kalambe showed a good chin for most of the time. Yeah, like Hashman said, yeah, he showed an
he had an iron chin.
Yeah.
By the way, do you want to take a guess, Del? Do you want to take a guess?
Sam Langford.
Ooh. Sam Langford was bald.
I've got no clue, mate.
All right. It's actually a hard one. This is a hard one.
Go on, share it with the chat.
It's a Black Murderers Row fighter by the name of Jack Chase. Jack Chase is, in my opinion, like an unsung hero of the Black Murderers Row. He fought in California. He was California champion. He fought against Archie Moore, Charlie Borley, a lot of guys. Towards the end of his career, he felt he was hard done by his agent, and he shot him. So,
that's one good way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
Give him the old Frank Warren treatment.
Give him the old flank. Give him the old fish eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Give him the old dent in his head. Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
But yeah.
There's loads of great fighters from that era. Like Burley was like an innovator. Like loads of fighters took their style from him, like or kind of originated from.
What do you know? What do you know about Charlie Borley?
To be honest, mate, not much. I just know from that era. He was around during that time. A lot of old timers kind of see him as their
talk about him.
But yeah, they kind of like a lot of old trainers. Like they'll single out Charlie Burley as like the guy who they kind of mold their like fighters after, kind of thing. Like, was it who was James Toney's old trainer? What's the guy's name? His first trainer. You know who I'm talking about, don't you?
I do. I just want to see if you can get it.
I forgot his name. You know who I mean, but like,
I know who it is. I want to see if anybody in the chat will get it.
But yeah, his trainer, James Toney's old trainer, you could tell like he kind of took those type of fighters as like the kind of like the ultimate, like the best fighters out there, and he kind of molded like the styles based on them, kind of thing. But yeah, man, I need to be honest, mate. I need to research that era properly. Obviously, I've heard the names, but I need to research what actually went on.
I'll give you a clue as to who his trainer was. Yeah, like his original trainer. His original trainer, also trained trainer Freddie Roach.
Oh, Eddie Futch, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Now it seems obvious, yeah. Yeah, Eddie Futch. It's fucking obvious. That's so annoying, isn't it? When you hear it and straight away you think, shit, that's so easy.
Yeah, because we're talking about arguably the greatest trainer of all time.
Yeah, man. I mean, James Toney was like, to me, like, if there's a fighter I can just sit down and watch, like, throughout his whole career, like, James Toney's one of them. Just something about his style, like, just a great fighter, man. Smooth, man. Smooth on the eye. Great body puncher, great combination puncher, great counter puncher, defensively sound, good on the inside. He could punch, great jab. You know, he could do everything. Just a great fighter.
Just an all-around 9 out of 10 across the board.
Yeah, man. Just a great... He's my favourite, like, to go back and watch. Like, when I kind of trained a bit in boxing, when I took it a bit seriously, like, he was a fighter I like to watch and just observe. I like James.
Do you know what Eddie Futch is probably most noted as?
Know what?
Like, what one of his biggest claims to fame is? He trained 4 of the 5 men that beat Muhammad Ali.
Jesus, that's something to have, isn't it? Jesus. Who's the guy who was the guy he didn't train who beat Ali?
Oh, who was it? I know the 4 that did, so I'm trying to think who Ali lost to, because the 4 were Frazier, Norton, Holmes, and Berbick. So, who's the other one?
Fraser, Holmes. Did you say Norton?
I did. Berbick, Frazier, Norton, and... I'm trying to think now. I feel like there's somebody obvious.
Yeah, so do I.
And it's gonna like smash me in the face when I realize it, and I'm gonna want to kill myself.
Spinks.
Fucking bollocks.
So he's fucking Spinks, man. Of course it was Spinks.
7 fights Leon Spinks, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Berbick, Holmes, Ken Norton, and Frazier.
Yeah.
Were the 4 men Eddie Futch trained who beat him, and the only other one to beat him was Leon Spinks.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Eddie Futch trained all 4 of them, man.
That's crazy.
Eddie Futch didn't train James Toney. What am I talking about? He trained Roy Jones.
I'm going to Google the trainer's name.
It's
pissing me off now.
Feel stupid if you think about it.
No, in the chat, Regis Prograis versus Josh Taylor.
Taylor.
You reckon Taylor? Tough fight. I said it earlier, I am leaning towards Taylor as well. Taylor's a bit more proven, you know. He's fought better competition, in my opinion, anyway. And I felt he dealt with the adversity quite well, in my opinion. And I think going forward, that'll serve him well. And yeah, I'd pick Taylor just about to beat Prograis.
Please. Regis Prograis has beaten a former unified champion.
Ah, no. Oh, Julius. Nah. He was pretty poor, wasn't he? Ndongo, one of the worst unified champions of recent years.
The best unified champion of recent years.
Oh, dear.
He beat a 3-weight world champion in Ricky Barnes.
Yeah, he did. To be fair,
it's so easy to spin a narrative, isn't it?
To be fair, like, yeah, I know it is very easy. To be fair, like, Ricky got beat by Relic before that, didn't he? Bill Miller, for fuck's sake!
Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't know that.
Toney
Why did I think it was Eddie Futch? I feel stupid.
Yeah, no, it felt like it should fit. Bill Miller, man. Guy with glasses, yeah, Bill Miller.
Have you ever watched footage of Charlie Burley?
No, mate.
I have quite a bit of footage on him. If you want, I can send to you at some point.
Yeah, man.
I can't upload that stuff, unfortunately.
No,
it will get copyrighted.
Yeah, those people like there's a fucking demand for that sort of stuff though.
Yeah.
Hashman,
I can't send it to you.
Hashman boxing. I love watching Terry Norris. Despite his chin, the guy was a beast.
Terrible Terry.
Yeah, way he knocked out Mugabe. Yeah, his chin weren't the best, was it?
John Mugabe was unreal too. He was a big puncher.
Yeah, man. There's all those guys looked fucking super strong, man. Super strong.
The birth of steroids and crack.
Man. Yeah.
When you're in the ring and you're coked out of your head, man, you're going to be throwing punches no one else is throwing.
Some of them look like they're fucking coked up, man. Like the pain tolerance that some of those guys had. Like, Terry Norris. Have you heard him speak now? Like, doesn't sound great. Although he doesn't.
Effects of being an able Sanchez fighter.
But he doesn't sound as bad as he did like a few years back. He has improved a bit, but like still bad.
He's no Riddick Bowe.
Oh, Riddick Bowe is terrible. Like Riddick Bowe, man, he could have been a great fighter. He obviously was a great fighter, but you know what I mean. He could have been so much better
if he had fought the Voights.
Yeah, and taken care of himself outside the ring. He loved his food, man.
He loved his Big Macs. Him and Jerome Miller would have been great friends.
They would, man. But yeah, he was a great fighter, man. For a guy of his size, the way he could work on the inside, just put his punches together so smoothly for a big guy. It's just a really good watch. But yeah, man, the Galotta fights just finished him.
Not
Yeah, man, not Lotta. He was a fucking mental midget though, weren't he? Galotta, like
he was on steroids galore as well. Fucking hell.
God knows what else as well. I mean, that guy, he was a good fighter, but he had a lot of ability for a big guy.
He was he could have been special, but he just had no tank, did he?
He had no tank and he was a fucking
no heart and he was nuts.
And he was a lunatic, yeah.
Off his bin.
Like he could have been a really good fighter because when Lennox fought him, like I was reading some things back and like a lot of people felt Galotta could beat him based on how
if that was based on the Bowe performances.
Yeah.
But truth is, I never believed that myself. Like my granddad put a lot of money on Lennox. Let's just say that.
Nah, fair play.
No place. My granddad put $4,000 on Lennox. Back then, that's
a lot of money, yeah. Like, do you remember, it's like Michael Grant. Like, the Michael Grant fight was supposed to be like a really risky fight for Lennox and one that could go either way, but he blew Grant away, man.
But then again, Hasim Rockman was meant to be a walkover.
Yeah, and he got KO'd. Same as Oliver McCall.
The thing with Lennox was the fights that were meant to be competitive, he rose to the challenge.
Yeah.
The fights that were meant to be easy, he kind of took them easier.
I've not seen the fight for a long, long time, but what do you make of Ray Mercer versus Lennox Lewis? Did you think Ray Mercer could have had a shot of winning that? I felt Ray Mercer, like the decision. What do you make of it?
I was happy with the decision.
Well, yeah, I felt Mercer kind of was hard done. It wasn't a robbery by any means, but Mercer gave him a really tough fight. And for anybody who says Lennox had no chin, they should really watch that fight. Mercer could punch. Like, he was a strong guy, man. What he did to fucking Tommy Morrison, man, that guy could punch, and Lennox took some big shots off him. Lennox could take a punch. Like, the whole chinny thing is just made out of 2 punches.
I mean, he got punched a couple of times by Tommy Morrison as well.
Yeah, took him well, man. Got buzzed up by Shannon Briggs. Put some hands on him. Took that quite well. Lennox got hit by punches, and he took the shots. when people say he had a bad chin, I think
I'm
that's
just
being
gonna say it
harsh.
like this though. Everybody, like most of the guys he fought against, were big punchers.
Yeah, Mercer, Tyson,
No,
Morrison,
you think about this.
Briggs,
Ruddock,
Razor Ruddock. Yeah, the smash.
right? Tony Tucker,
Yeah,
Frank Bruno,
yeah, massive puncher.
Oliver McCall,
Yeah.
Tommy Morrison,
Mhm.
Ray Mercer,
Mhm.
Henry Akamwande,
Yeah.
Gallotta,
Yeah.
Briggs,
Yeah.
Holyfield.
Would you say Holyfield?
Holyfield could bang.
He could he could stop you on accumulation. Yeah, that's true.
Right. Grant,
Grant, big puncher,
David Tua,
massive puncher, huge left hook. Yeah.
Rackman,
Yeah, big puncher.
Mike Tyson,
Yeah. Vitaly.
Vitaly Klitschko.
Yeah, exactly. He hit guys. Sorry, he fought guys who could punch. And
Like when people question his chin,
it's a
he
casual
was
statement.
in there with quite a few ATG punchers.
Yeah, that's a super casual statement. Oh, Lennox couldn't take a punch. That's BS. It's a BS. It's absolute nonsense. He had a great chin, an underrated chin. He could take
Mate,
a
I
punch.
suppose Ali couldn't take a punch.
Fucking, if you took their fucking formula, you'd say that, wouldn't you? Like nutters, a lot of them, nutters. But yeah, Lennox could punch. But Lennox could punch, and he could take a punch. Like, but yeah, man, Lennox was a great fighter, man. He only got.
Do you know who had a hell of a chin? Sugar Ray Robinson had a hell of a chin, man.
Yeah.
He was only stopped once, and it wasn't even by punches; it was heat exhaustion.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Against Joey Maxim.
Yeah. But yeah, you still give credit to Maxim for winning, but yeah, that's teak tough, man, good chin.
That says a lot about a fighter if he's only stopped by fucking heat.
Exactly. The elements stopped him. Like what?
Mother Nature had to.
Yeah, exactly. Mother Nature had to step in. So, what do you reckon? What do you reckon of the best chin right now, active fighter?
Canelo.
Right now? Canelo. Okay, it's a good shout. Golovkin, like
Canelo, Golovkin's up there. I just feel like Canelo can take more than Golovkin. I think he's more stout.
Golovkin's got a mad chin. Like some of the shots he took from Canelo, like he's got a mad chin.
Yeah, but some of the shots Canelo took from Golovkin, and I think Golovkin hits harder than Canelo.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think one thing I will say, I think Canelo takes body shots better.
I just think Canelo's punch resistance is massive.
Come on, yeah, man. He rolls with the shots as well, though. Like he takes a lot of sting out of them. Like, you know, he's clever. Yeah, Carnival made a good point in the chat. Maxim fought in the same heat, so yeah, he had to deal with it as well. Yeah, it's a good point. Would you say Jarrett Hurd has a good chin?
Huh?
Would you say Jarrett Hurd has a good chin, or would you say that's more down to the fact he's
haven't seen Jarrett Hurd get punched by a world-class puncher yet,
or a guy his own size?
Exactly.
Like, I mean, people
like realistically, if he moves up like 154, who is there that can punch him? Who has one punch knockout power at 154?
Nobody. I mean, everybody said, do you remember Chavez Jr.? Like, oh, he's got a great chin. He's got his dad's chin. He's a light heavyweight fighting bloody middleweight, so of course he's going to take punches. When he fought somebody his own size in Fanfara, what happened? Got KO'd. Like Chavez's chin, like his chin was never like proven. His chin was proven against guys who are fucking midgets, and that was it. Like Chavez Jr., man, he used to wind me up so much when he was active. Couldn't stand the guy. I was so pleased when Martinez boxed strings around him after like what the WBC did when they robbed him. I couldn't stand that guy. He was like one of the only fighters I actively wanted to lose. Like I just wanted to see him lose every single fight. Chavez Jr. Couldn't stand him. Not at all. But now he's done now, Chavez Jr. Do you reckon there's any way back for him, Chavez Jr.?
Don't care.
Yeah, exactly. The moment you see him on that 24/7 eating Cheerios, high as a fucking kite, more than likely. Do you remember that on the Martinez 24/7 show when he was just eating cereal, training in his living room? Fucking hell, Jesus. Yeah, that's a good shout. Daenerys, he's got a good chin right now. Out of all the active fighters,
You got a good chin, yeah.
I mean, it took a guy who was a lot bigger to stop him. Yeah, man, it's good. It's a good shout. I actually think. I mean, who else is out there who's got a proven chin right now? Um, hmm.
Eubank Jr.
Eubank Jr. does have a good chin. Yeah, he does. And like I say, I mean, I've seen the guy in real life. He is not a natural 168 fighter. He's a slim guy. He's not a big guy. He walks around probably like 170 maybe from seeing him. And he took like Groves' power fairly well. I know he got dropped a couple of times that weren't counted, but he took the power really well. Yeah, Eubank's got a good chin. See, that's something you can say. You can say he's got a good chin because he's been punched by guys who are A punchers and guys who are bigger than him. Like he's been hit by bigger guys, and he's took it. Yeah, that's a good shout actually. Christian Hammer at heavyweight, he's got a decent chin.
He doesn't even have the best chin at heavyweight.
Who do you reckon has the best chin at heavyweight right now?
Right now?
Yeah. Like active.
It's hard. I don't think it's Hammer because he's been knocked out.
He got knocked out by Whack and Fury, and Fury made him retire. I think
Gotta be honest, Dave Allen has a phenomenal chin.
He does have a good chin. We missed an obvious one, by the way, in like a lighter weight class. Danny Garcia.
Chin.
Danny can take a punch. He really can. I mean, he's fought guys like Matisse, he's fought Furman, he's fought Porter. You know, he's fought strong guys. I know Porter's not a huge puncher, but, you know, he can cause some problems. And, yeah, Danny's always showed a good chin. Yeah, man. Danny's got a good chin. Yeah, I can't see Danny getting knocked out anytime soon. Okay, we'll switch it. Fighters who haven't proven to have bad chins, but fighters you suspect to have bad chins right now.
Right off the bat, that I suspect to have a bad chin.
Yeah.
Not proven to have a bad chin.
Yeah. Just your what's your gut saying?
The three top heavyweights.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
I don't think they have bad chins. I think they have good hearts. I'm going to say that. I haven't seen them give up, but I think they're all droppable or knockoutable.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think all the main heavyweights are open to be stopped. And yeah, Marius Wack, Carnival said Marius Wack at heavyweight.
Wack does have a very good chin.
Yeah, he does. I mean, took some big shots off Vladimir. I know Povetkin stopped him, but wasn't that due to facial injuries? Wasn't like a knockout. I know it's still a stoppage, but, you know, he took the punches really well. Yeah, so for guys I suspect, like I suspect Yard is carrying a bit of glass. I know we go back to him, but just what I see, just what I feel, sorry, more than anything, but I think Yard has a bad chin. His head looks too small for his body. Anthony Yard. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
I think he'll get... Yeah. Yeah, Dubois, that's another guy who's a bit... I think as soon as he gets touched on the chin, I think he could go down.
We're going to say this about all heavyweights.
That is true, yeah. I mean, when you're that size and getting caught, yeah.
I mean, not proven to have a bad chin, but Volchdik.
Yeah, he's vulnerable, I think. Like, you can catch him square. I think sometimes, he's more down to, like, I think Volchdik is more like, he's one of those fighters where he kind of fights down to the level of his opponents. So when he has to step it up, like against Stevenson, he can keep his concentration and he can take those shots. But, against lesser guys, I think he kind of just fights down to that level kind of thing.
I can't wait to see Crawford get hit by a Spence, by the way.
I agree with that.
Or a Thurman. Same with Thurman. I can't wait for him to get hit by a Spence. And likewise with Spence, I can't wait to see him get hit by a Crawford or a Thurman.
I mean, all those guys have been hurt. Spence got hurt by Latte on the come up.
That's true.
Thurman got hurt by Lopez.
How are you going to get hurt by a coffee?
Exactly, man. Spence has been hurt. He showed a few signs. Thurman obviously got hurt by Lopez. He got hurt by Carras. And Crawford got hurt by Gamboa. So, yeah, those guys have showed they can get hurt. Carnival, he says, for Charlos, could be a bit chinny.
They could be.
Guilty Simpson says Saunders. I think Saunders has quite a good chin.
I think Saunders' chin is actually very good. I mean, he got hit with some very clean shots by Andy Lee, and he took them and walked through them. And Andy Lee was no small puncher. So.
No, Lee could crack, yeah. Lee could punch. And Eubank hasn't got, like, feather fists. He can punch a bit. Like, I'm not sure about the Charlos. I'm kind of unsold on those two guys. I think Jamal is more likely to get knocked... Jamal. He's more likely to get knocked out. I think he's more straight up and down. Chins in the air. I think he's more susceptible to getting knocked out.
Here's one for you. Best son of a former boxer not named Mayweather.
Oh, that is a good question.
Do you know who I want to say?
Go for it.
Tracy Harris Patterson.
Who?
Former 2-weight world champion. He's the adopted son of Floyd Patterson. He ended up going, what was his record? I think it was 63, 7-2 or 8-2 off the top of my head. He had 43 knockouts. He had a 16-year career. He had 4 successful defenses of his super bantamweight title, and he won the IBF super featherweight title.
Fair play.
So I'd say he's got a good show.
Yeah, I never heard of him, mate, in all honesty. I'll have to look him up.
It's a random one, but there you go. It's off the top of my head. I think he's better than Chavez Jr., for sure.
Oh, Jr. was...
And I think he was better than Eubank Jr.
Yeah. He's got the hardware to prove it, I suppose. Yeah. Vodzik got dropped by Carpenter, you're right. Hashman boxing, yep. Knight NUA has never been hit. Interesting to see what happens when Tete cracks him.
It'd be very interesting to see now a new way go Bruce Lee.
Yeah, man. Imagine Inoue versus Denaire in Asia. That'd be a big fight. That'd be a great fight. That'll tell us if Inoue's got a good chin or not, because Denaire can punch, man. He can punch.
He can bang. He's a good fighter in Nonito. I've been following Nonito for quite a long time. I just feel... I don't know what it is. I feel Inoue is special.
I know it's hard not to get excited about him. It's hard not to get like overly excited. But I do need to see a few things. I'm not right on the bandwagon. I think he's got a lot of potential. I'm kind of waiting until this tournament is over, and then I'll kind of assess it from there.
If he wins this tournament, you can't say anything bad about him because there's good fighters in it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's assuming he can beat Rodriguez.
Rodriguez isn't a scrub. I mean, he looked a bit bad in his last fight, but I think Maloney's like a decent fighter.
Maloney is a decent fighter. I just feel like Rodriguez is definitely better than Payano, even though Payano's not bad himself. He's not terrible. Like, Payano did beat, what's his name, Rashawn Warren.
Yeah.
So, Payano's not a bad fighter. He fucking creamed his clock, didn't he?
And that was a really short punch as well. Like, he looked like it looked like he didn't get much behind it, and he just took him out, man. He's heavy-handed.
Do you know? He got that Bruce Lee like 6-inch punch behind it.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
I don't know what it is about Inoue, man, but I feel like when he gets hit, he's just going to be like, it's not very effective.
He's got that Golovkin vibe about him as he marches forwards. Do you know what I mean? They're different fighters, but he's got that aura. That's what I'm trying to say. He's got that, like, you can't do shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, nothing he can do.
He's a 3-weight world champion right now, isn't he? He's a 3-weight world champion, yeah?
Yeah.
Or is he not? I don't actually know. I'm not going to give him credit because the current belt he holds is regular.
Oh yeah, that is true. Because Jamie,
I don't give credit to regular titles personally. So if he beats Rodriguez, he becomes 3-weight.
Yeah, because that's because
one of the belts.
Because in that fight with Rodriguez, it's only the IBF belt that's on the line. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, just having a look now. Looks like it's only the IBF belt that's on the line. And the other thing with Inoue, you've got to like kind of say is like he ducked flyweight.
You mean super flyweight?
Was it super fly or was it fly? I thought it was flyweight. Oh no, he jumped from light flyweight. He jumped from light flyweight to super fly, didn't he?
He jumped one division, but the thing is, like, I think he ducked the super flyweight division itself.
Yeah,
even though he might have won a title there.
He avoided Gonzalez. He weren't really
Sarascat and Estrada.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean,
why you do that to us now? Get back in there.
I think he realised.
Bring Sarascat up to 118 and fight him.
I think he realised like he wasn't probably quite ready for that level. Although he could have won, I wouldn't be surprised. But it weren't worth the risk.
Could he beat Sarascat? Could he beat Sarascat?
Yeah, tough fight. A tough fight. Really
could he outbox Estrada? Oof.
Estrada's a great.
The way he walks forward against Estrada, he could be in for a tough night.
Estrada's like almost like a mini Marquez, kind of that counterpunch.
I got to say something controversial. I actually think the fighters in the 115-pound division beat everybody quite comfortably at 118. The top ones.
Do you think?
I think I genuinely believe Sarascat beats Tete. I think he beats Tete, Burnett, Daenerys, and Rodriguez. I really do.
I think Rungvisai has the size to move up. And he clearly carries real power.
He carries something.
Yeah, man. Tough old boy. Tough old boy. They'll move up soon. I think Rungvisai is moving up soon. I'll get that impression. He's going to move up soon.
I think Eddie Hearn might be looking at a super fight between him and Inoue.
Yep. And what's Haney versus Roman? That's at Super Bantam, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to say this right now, though. If Eddie Hearn did make Sarascat and Inoue and put it on Sky pay-per-view, even though it probably wouldn't happen, I'd buy it.
Yeah, I think I'd buy it. I think I'd have to buy it.
I'd buy it for £20, man. It's a top fight.
It's an amazing fight. Great style matchup as well. Somebody would get absolutely cleaned out. I doubt that.
Who would you pick? Who would you pick?
Well, Rungvisai is far more proven. He's got better wins, but at the same time, Inoue looks like
Inoue's bigger.
Inoue's bigger, and he looks like he's got a higher ceiling in general. I'd pick.
He has a high ceiling.
Yeah, I'll pick Inoue, but I wouldn't rule out.
Could you see Inoue going up to 122 and winning a world title?
122. It's a big jump. Yeah, no, I could do it. I could see it.
Could he beat the Haney?
Yeah, I think so.
Danny Roman?
Tougher, but yeah, I'd say so.
Who are the other two at 122? Trying to remember.
122? Christ, I'd have to check it out, mate. Oh, I don't even know actually. I'll be honest.
Oh, dude who beat what's his face? Dogby.
Navarrete.
Navarrete.
Yep.
He'd be tough for it anyway.
He's
He
big.
would be tough.
Navarrete's
He's
big.
massive. But Dogbo's very small. He's 5'2". So Navarrete just looks huge.
He's a midget, yeah. Yeah. Aobs, he reckons Estrada and Rungvisai are not beating anybody. Yeah, man, they're good fighters. They can move up a weight class and have success. They'd beat fucking Ryan Burnett.
Estrada would beat Burnett.
Yeah, they'd both beat the piss out of Burnett, in my opinion. And I think Burnett's a good fighter. I don't think he's a bad fighter.
I don't either. He's a very good fighter.
He can box. He can box a bit. It would have been interesting to see what would have happened in the fight with Donaire if he didn't get injured. I think Donaire was having a lot more success than the commentators made on. To be honest, Donaire was having success. Hang on. Okay, where are we at? Okay, Aobs thinks Tete. I'm presuming he's saying Tete is going to win the bantamweight tournament.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Tete's got his hands full with Donaire.
If he can come through Donaire, I'll say fair play to him, because Donaire at 118 is a monster.
He looks better at 118. Looks like he's got more energy. He's boxing better. He boxed better against Burnett than I've seen for a long time.
We didn't really get to see just how good he is, though, in that fight, because it didn't last very long.
Yeah, the initial signs were promising, though. I felt
they were.
He made the weight.
I had him winning by 2 rounds, I think.
Yeah, I felt he made the weight surprisingly well. To be honest, he looked.
Some people were like he looked trained. I thought he looked in perfect condition for his body shape.
Yeah,
I was like, you look phenomenal. There's no way you're that old, man.
Imagine
no way.
If you put it into context, like if Donaire somehow wins this tournament, let's say he beats Tete, he beats Inoue, that would be a tremendous turnaround at like a late stage of your career. Could you imagine that?
If what?
If Donaire beat Tete and beat Inoue.
If Donaire wins this tournament?
Yeah.
Oh, it would cement his Hall of Fame legacy massively.
Yeah, he's been a credit to the sport, though, Donaire.
Oh, he's got a tremendous resume. He's been a tremendous fighter. He's been a big puncher, but he's only been stopped once.
Yeah, he's a class act as well, man. Class act.
The only person who stopped him, if I recall correctly, is Nicholas Walters.
Yep.
And even against Rigo, he had his jaw broken.
Yeah, and his eye fucked as well, yeah.
And he finished that fight. Like, what a man.
he's got no quit in him. No quit at all.
And Nicholas Walters was way bigger than him. Way bigger.
Yeah.
Like, just in body size. I mean, I know Donaire's kind of tall. He's 5'7.5", isn't it?
Yeah, I think about 5'7", yeah.
Yeah, that's big for a fucking bantamweight.
Yeah.
I know Walters and him are about the same height, but Walters' body size is just larger.
Yeah, Walters was a big guy, yeah. Big guy.
Very much so.
Yeah, someone mentioned Lewis Neri. I think we both rate him. It's just how he went about his business, really, with Yamanaka obviously failing a drug test in the first fight, and then in the second fight, failing to make weight by like 5 pounds or something, and then getting the win. Just not a good look. But he's a good fighter. He's talented, but it's just hard to kind of get behind him, really.
He's definitely a good fighter.
Hashman Boxing, he says Riggin Diao beats everybody from 115 to 122.
No,
I can't see that.
Not anymore, mate.
I think Danny, yeah, like
Rigondeaux a few years ago, yes, I'll agree with you. But right now, 122. Oof.
I think Danny Roman will give him a tough fight, to be honest.
I think he would. I mean, I think Inoue gives him a tough fight as well.
Rungvisai's got a bad style for him.
Did he say 115 to 122?
Yep.
Oh, oof. Estrada would give him a tough fight.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say it right now. The guy who I'd be putting my money on to actually beat him,
yep.
This may sound a little crazy, is Navarrete.
Oh, Navarrete would dog walk him, I think.
I think he'd actually punch through him. I think he's too big. Just too big. Although Rigondeaux was once a great fighter, in terms of his ability, we never really seen the best win he has is a very good win, by the way, in Denair. It is a very good win.
Yeah.
But
that's really it.
That's really it. And we never seen him against anybody else, and he's no longer in his prime. He's very old, and he looked very old against Loma. We haven't seen how good he is since.
Yeah. To be honest, though, people made out like the size of Loma had something to do with that. I just think that's a horrible style matchup for him, to be honest.
I agree with you.
Loma, the thing is, Loma has seen that style countless times already, whereas Rigo's never seen a Loma before.
He's never fought a Loma before, no.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
who has fought a Loma before?
Yeah, Rigondeaux's a good fighter. I just think some people just overdone him a bit. You know, they overhyped him a little bit too much.
I don't think he was overhyped. I personally thought he was genuinely very good.
No, but like I think with Rigondeaux, some people like the whole ducking thing, and at one point everyone was saying he was like the boogeyman when he did actually have opportunities. So, like for example, I'll give you an example. Do you know when he fought in Japan? He fought Amagasa, struggled but won the fight. He had like an option of like a further 2 fights in Japan, but he never took it. He had opportunities on HBO. He had opportunities here and there and everywhere, but he just never took them. And, he didn't want to stay active. He priced himself out of certain fights and, it was what it was. The thing is with Rigondeaux, like, he never helped himself in regards to his career, to be honest. And yeah, Frampton did duck him, in my opinion, but like...
And mine.
But like, I mean, there's no reason why Rigondeaux shouldn't have continued fighting in Japan. No reason at all. Why did he turn down that TV deal? I mean, just stay active at least. Even if you're fighting C-level guys, at least stay active. But no, he just sat on his ass, expected things to come to him, but it was what it was. It was what it was. No, I've not lost faith in Rigondeaux. I think he's a good fighter, but I mean, he's an old man now, and there's a lot of hungry guys out there that just ready to take him, in my opinion.
That's dirty, though. That's dirty.
Nah, there's a lot of guys out there who will take Rigondeaux right now. Like you say, Navarrete, I mean, the guy's massive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what happens when he gets on top of Rigondeaux? Nah. Rigondeaux's just boring to talk about, let's be honest. I mean...
Hashman's like Quigg and Frampton ducked him. You guys are crazy. I agree, he did duck him. I'm just going to ask you a question, Hashman. Do you really believe 5'2" Rigo is going to deal with 5'8" Navarrete, who will dog walk him constantly and walk through his shots?
Bear in mind, we saw what happened with Amagasa. Amagasa got beat handily by Josh Warrington. Amagasa is like a big lump who comes forward, doesn't apply pressure well at all, average fighter, and he gave Rigondeaux problems. Navarrete can punch. Navarrete can cut the ring off. Strong guy, he's a lot better fighter than Amagasa. And this is a Rigondeaux years later. Like, Navarrete would give him a hell of a fight. I agree.
Navarrete reminds me so much of Munguia. They fight so similar.
Yeah, just come forward. Yeah, man. come forward style. But he's going to be a fun fighter, Navarrete, regardless of where he goes. To be honest, Navarrete is going to be fun to follow.
Yeah.
I
Someone
think.
asked us, does he win the Dogboe rematch? I believe he does. I just think
Yeah,
it's all wrong for Dogboe.
so do I. And Dogboe, I mean, is he jumping right into the rematch? Because I think that's a bad move. He took a beating last time.
That was very, very rough. Very
Hmm
tough to watch because, like, Dogboe is a very good fighter. He
Yeah,
actually is very good.
he is a good fighter. Yeah, good body puncher. He can, good puncher in general. Um, he's a good fighter, but that'd be risky going into a rematch straight away. That could ruin him if it's similar to the first fight. Fair play to him. If he wants to jump into a rematch, then that kind of just says more about him. Kind of shows he wants to fight for best after that first fight.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to end well for him, to be honest. Yeah, Navarrete is a problem at that weight class. I think when he moves up, he'll get found out. But yeah, at 122, he's going to be a problem, to be honest. Fiji water bottle. He thinks Rigondeaux kills Navarrete. Man, he can kill Jazza Dickens and people like that, but can he kill Navarrete? I've not seen anything to indicate that.
There were people who not long ago in this chat, like Hashman, were saying that he thinks Dogboe could beat Rigo. This wasn't that long ago. I remember seeing him say that. So if you think Dogboe can beat Rigo, why don't you think Navarrete can?
Yeah, the thing is though, like saying like Hashman, he's saying Navarrete is basic, which he is. I think we can agree he's fairly basic.
Yeah,
But,
it's like what Mayweather said about Golovkin, right?
yeah, but
He's
but
steak and potatoes.
but Navarrete is better than Amagasa. He's a better boxer than Amagasa. He applies pressure better. He hits harder, more volume, better at cutting off a ring. He's better than Amagasa, and we saw what Amagasa did to Rigondeaux. How many problems Rigondeaux had with Amagasa, and that was a younger Rigondeaux. That's what we're saying. Like Navarrete now versus this version of Rigondeaux, it's a tough fight for Rigondeaux. Oh yeah, he's going to be catching Navarrete coming in, but Rigondeaux's got to keep him off him for 12 rounds. Listen, man, Rigondeaux, he's been out of the ring for a little while. He's God knows how old. I need to see him against a guy who, is somewhat decent.
Well, when did he last fight? Was Loma his last fight?
Nah, he fought on the undercard of Caleb Plant. He
Oh
fought.
yeah, so he fought on the first. He fought on January 13th January.
Yeah, he fought a absolute nobody really.
That was some guy called Delgado, I think.
Yeah, who's been knocked out numerous times before.
Yeah. So he beats Delgado, coming back after losing to Lomachenko, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now people will be like, well, he moved up like 2 weight divisions for Loma.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. He's not as good as he was. Rigo, right now, I believe, if we believe his age, is 38.
Yeah.
He's coming to the end.
Mm-hmm. And did you notice in that Delgado fight, Brigandiao was a lot more stationary. Maybe it was because of the opponent, but he was a lot more stationary. He was a lot more flat-footed. He seemed to be a lot more willing to let go of power shots. And I think that may be because, his legs are not what they were. His reactions may be, a bit off now. And maybe he's trying to make the most, maybe he needs to adjust his style to where he actually has to be more aggressive now. He has to sit down on his punches more. And if that is the case, somebody like Navarrete is going to have an easier time with him. But yeah, man, he 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 needs to do something. He needs to fight somebody with a pulse to see what he has left.
Most definitely.
I mean, he's saying he'd fight anybody up to. I'm sure he said he'd fight anybody up to super featherweight, Rigondeaux. Because
Up to super featherweight, Jesus.
yeah, I'm sure he said that after his comeback. I mean, Gary Russell Jr. versus Rigondeaux. What happens in Europe? I think Gary beats him, mate.
I think Gary stops him. But he said anyone up to super featherweight?
Yeah. I'm sure he said anybody up.
He ain't beating Miguel Berchelt.
Oh, Miguel Berchelt is far too big.
Berchelt to kill him.
I'm trying to think of a good fight for Rigondeaux. I think Santa Cruz is another horrible fight for him.
Yeah, and put him in there with Josh Warrington.
That'd be an interesting fight, you know.
Watch Josh Warrington do what he did to Frampton and Selby.
Just
walk through every one of his shots and just keep throwing.
Yeah. No, I agree, mate. I'm not. I don't know why I'm talking about Rigondeaux for like 20 minutes. To be honest, I mean, what's the guy done in recent years? Really,
this was meant to be only 45 minutes, though.
I know, man. I know. To be fair, you watching the fights tomorrow? I was thinking about doing a live stream for the fights, but I think I will leave it.
Maybe you should, man. Do a live stream for it. Get some chats going. Just make sure you have your sound muted, like the commentary and all that shit.
Yeah, that's it.
You don't want that shit coming through.
Oh no, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Well, I'll be watching the fights. I'll stay up for part of Ugas.
Carnival. He's saying Bajazza Dickens rematch is a pick'em. Oh dear.
No, it's not.
Good old Jazza Dickens, man.
Good old Jazza.
Kid Galahad stopped him years ago. I remember that fight. Jazza Dickens.
What do you think of Kid Galahad against Warrington?
I think Warrington is going to get on top of him and outwork him and beat him up down the stretch. He's either going to get a late stoppage or just a wide points win.
That description was so dirty. But I think Warrington's going to get on top of him, outwork him, beat him up down the stretch.
But I think Galahad will give him problems early on. But after the third or fourth round, Warrington is just going to take over. And yeah. But I don't think Galahad is a bad mandatory, to be honest. I'm kind of eager actually to see what he has, because loads of people in the trade say, "Oh, Galahad's a great boxer." We're going to find out soon. To be fair though,
Cop-End09 asks us a question: who would be a solid first fight for Marco Maidana and what weight class? Billy Joe Saunders, catch weight 183 pounds.
I don't know, mate. I used to like Maidana. He used to be one of my favourite active fighters. I just don't want to see him back, to be honest.
154 Ted Cheeseman.
Oh, but yeah, I'd watch that, you know. Oh, Jesus. Christ.
I've made a good shout there. I think that's competitive.
I think it's competitive. I mean, Cheeseman fucking...
He's tough. He can't fight in the back foot, but he's tough.
He's tough, and he's got the best face-first defense I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, Slot from the Goonies. Every punch. Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys.
Jesus. But yeah, man.
I wonder how Spartan Icons was feeling when Cheeseman lost, because, he sponsors Cheeseman, right?
Yeah, I saw him rocking the gear. I saw him, yeah. But I think Maidana, though, he's... I can't see it ending well, to be honest. Especially given his style, because Tyson Fury, I was worried when he came back, but at least Tyson Fury had a style to kind of fall back on that kind of ages fairly well. You know, Maidana's style was kind of gung-ho, 100 miles per hour, you know, in your face, getting down in the trenches. That style, mate, if you've been out the ring for a long time and you're old, I can't see it working out well, to be honest. I don't know about you. Do you think Maidana can mount a successful comeback?
What's successful?
I'm sure his idea will be just getting some money, but beating guys who are semi-credible.
When did Marco Maidana retire?
2014, it must have been.
When was his last fight?
I think September 2014 against Floyd, I want to say.
Yeah, you'd be right. If Floyd's last fight, that was the 13th of September 2014. I know that.
Yeah.
Only reason I know that is it's me granny's birthday. Um, she was watching that fight, by the way, on her birthday.
Fair
Crazy
play.
book. Yeah, she stayed up. But
They were some of the better Mayweather fights in recent years.
That's nearly 5 years ago.
Yep.
Like that's over 4 years ago now. That's 4 years and that's 4.5 years ago now because we're in March.
Yeah.
So since it's 4.5 years ago, and Marcus Moydan has been hitting the Nassim Hamed buffet. Who's he beating between 147 and 154, man?
Nobody of any consequence. I can't see it. I can't see it, mate. Okay, here's one for you. Adrian Broner versus Marcus Maidana rematch, like 150 pound catch weight. Who wins?
Broner.
He'll
outbox him. I think Moydan is too old and he's just been out for too long. If it's his first fight back, like as much as I don't like Broner will beat him.
Yeah, I think Broner would beat him. I don't want to see that rematch. We can't shit on what happened in 2013. We can't. Come on, no. That needs to be like sacred. Don't give Broner a rematch against
problem solved.
Yeah, nah. Leave Maidana alone.
Like, I mean, he fought Broner in 2013, yeah? Since then, how many fights has Broner had?
A lot.
Like, Broner's probably been very active since he lost to Marco Maidana.
He's at least had 11, 12 fights, surely. No, maybe not that much, but
10.
Okay, 10 fights, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because I think it was John Molina Jr., Emmanuel Taylor, Carlos Molina, Khabib, Thea Payne, Mikey Garcia,
Porter,
Jesse Vargas. No, he fought Porter before that. No, Porter. Yeah, Porter. Adrian Granados, right? Jesse Vargas, Mikey Garcia, and Pacman.
So it's about 10, 11 fights, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's been active, and he's been fighting at a good level. Whereas Maidana's been like sitting back, sipping on the wine, smoking cigars, eating God knows what in Argentina. Do you think the money's dried up, or do you think he actually misses it?
Bit of both.
Yeah, because he was a guy who like always.
I don't think he misses training.
No.
He even once went on record and said, "If I could be a boxer without training, I'd be the happiest man in the world."
Yeah.
So it says he loves the sport but hates training.
Yeah.
So
because I know he doesn't
probably
really
needs some money.
Yeah, I know he doesn't really follow boxing. From what I can see.
Same with Miguel Cotto.
Yeah, Cotto's the same. Martin Murray. He doesn't even like boxing from what I read.
Bermain Stavern hates it. He doesn't watch it at all.
Yeah, that's hardly surprising, to be fair. I think a lot of boxers probably hate it, to be honest. Yeah, man.
Better question, how many fights has Broner won since Maidana? Carlos Molina, Taylor, John Molina Jr., Khabib, Thea Payne, Granados.
Yeah, what's his best win since Broner?
Who's? Oh, since Maidana?
Since Maidana, yeah. Broner's best win. Alec Berdiev?
Probably.
Alec Berdiev was okay. Wasn't a terrible fighter, but like...
You can pronounce that name, man? I call it Khabib.
I don't know. I probably butchered it, but...
I'll tell you his best win, Jesse Vargas.
Did you think he beat Vargas? I felt it was really close. Could have gone.
I thought he beat him by a round. I know somebody's going to say, "Oh no, he didn't beat Vargas. He lost like 4 rounds."
Yeah, I felt that was one of those fights where a draw was kind of fair. But I will say, Broner, when he went through the gears, he looked a level above. I will say that much.
Mm-hmm. He always does when he goes through the gears. He just doesn't go through the gears.
Yeah, he does have talent. Like he does have some ability, but he just doesn't. He doesn't believe in himself.
To be fair, when people are saying who's his best win since fucking since then. Like, his best win on his resume is probably Paulie Malignaggi. Like, he doesn't have great wins. Who else? Antonio DeMarco?
I'd say DeMarco. Yeah.
Is DeMarco really a great win?
It's not really? No, it's not a great win, but it's one of his better wins.
I mean, DeMarco has lost to, like, Vargas, Barthélemy, Omar Figueroa,
Valero.
I know that's Edwin Valero. Fucking retired him in the fight. Yeah. And he had a draw against Meeks.
Yeah, exactly.
And he even lost to Anthony Vasquez early in his career.
Mm-hmm.
So, also, how good is DeMarco? Like, DeMarco he was never that great to be.
He was just a tough guy, and that was it. A big guy for the weight, decent puncher.
I personally feel like Paulie Malignaggi was better than DeMarco. I think Paulie Malignaggi is a good boxer.
Yeah, it's a good win. Another good win on paper would have been Ponce de Leon, but obviously that was a robbery. So
true.
Because he was a good fighter back then.
True.
But yeah, his resume is bare. Like, all the big fights he's lost. To be honest. Aobs thinks Paulie beat him. I felt Broner nicked it, to be honest. I felt Broner did just about enough. But Paulie fought a good fight. The writing was on the wall, though, in the Malignaggi fight.
Everybody's like, he hasn't beat anybody since Maidana. He's still been active. Like, do you think Maidana coming back after 4.5 years out, guys? Honestly, 4.5 years out, eating kebab after kebab, laying poolside, getting, like, building up that proper, like, beer gut belly. Do you really think, like, Diego Maradona Jr., Maidana, is going to go in there and beat Adrian Broner in his first fight back?
No way.
Like, as much as we don't like Broner, let's be really honest. Are you going to bet money on Marcus Maidana to beat Adrian Broner in his first fight back?
I certainly wouldn't. I certainly wouldn't. Did you see Maidana's training footage?
No.
Oh, he looks a state.
I don't care about him. That's the honest truth.
I wanted to see if he had it, man, but like I know he's just come back into training, but he looked like a right state, to be honest. So it's annoying because I liked him as a fighter, and I know he's going to get starched by somebody.
Like, when people end up getting towards the end of their career and they end up becoming shot and stuff, like, they end up losing, like Paulie did to Sam Eggington. Would a prime Paulie beat Sam Eggington?
Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think he would stop him. Would Eggington beat Broner?
No.
Would Maidana come back on return and beat Eggington? That's a serious question. Would he beat Liam Smith?
No. No, he wouldn't.
Would Liam Smith beat Broner at, like, 150? Be a good fight. Actually,
it'd be a good fight. I think he'd struggle to get down.
Yeah,
I think Liam Smith would beat Broner at 154.
I don't think Broner would beat anybody at 154. Too small.
Yeah, no, I agree. We just want to see Broner get beat up. To be honest, he's another guy though. I'm really, really, really not interested in seeing Broner in the ring again anytime soon. After that Pacquiao performance, no, I'm not interested. To be honest.
When we consider what Tyson Fury did, he was out for 2.5 years drinking, doing coke, and eating a fuck ton of food, right?
Yeah.
Maidana has probably been doing the exact same thing.
And he's older.
And he's older. And he is a lot older, right?
Yeah.
Tyson Fury came back and fought Pianetta and Safari.
Yeah.
And had over a year's training camp. Like, he did a full year fat camp before taking on Wilder, right? Correct?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Marcus Maidana, in his first fight, would be fighting at world level.
It's crazy. Nah, it wouldn't end well, mate. It'd be pointless. Absolutely pointless.
Like, if Tyson Fury, when he fought Sefer Safarian that night, right? Now, I'm not... let's just say Broner's the number 10 welterweight. Let's just say he's 10 or 11 or 12, yeah?
Yeah.
If Tyson Fury had a comeback and had a fought Kovnatsky, how much of a tough night would he have had?
I think he would have had a tough night, yeah.
The way he was against Safiri.
Yeah, it would have been a tough fight, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So that's the idea.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true, man. It's true.
The difference is Tyson Fury was shown that he had even at 28 stone, he was shown that he could box.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's another thing. Like Fury had that style to fall back on.
He has a style that suits it. Marcus Maidana is a pressure, energetic, stamina-draining fighter.
Yeah, and like Tyson Fury, let's say even if he came back and he was 80% of the fighter he was, if he was in good shape, that style is still going to give people problems. It's still going to get results. Whereas Maidana, if he's not at like a decent level, he's getting cleaned up with that style. He's getting cleaned up, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, what do you reckon the end goal is for Maidana? What do you think they're trying to do? Bear in mind, he signed with PBC.
Marcus Maidana on New Year's or close to New Year's, 1v1 with the great one, Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, I could see it.
Or Marcus Maidana versus like Errol Spence.
Oh no! Oh, that'd be ugly. That'd be ugly. Oh, I wouldn't watch it. Wouldn't even watch it.
Mate, I told you I've watched Ben against McClellan 27 times. I'm not nice.
But like, yeah, I think I asked you earlier. No, I asked for chat at the start. Now we're getting closer to Spence Garcia. Are you looking forward to it anymore?
Yes.
You are. You coming around to it?
I've always been looking forward to it. I'm going to watch it. Like, I'm going to it.
I'm morbidly curious about the fight. I'll say that much. If it's going to go the way I think it's going to go, Spence, yeah, Errol Spence, he should be, he should have way too much. Should be a relatively straightforward night, but Mikey is a good fighter. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh on the fight, but I kind of see it as a cherry pick, to be honest. And I know Mikey asked for it, but still a cherry pick. Shepherd of Sons, he says no, he's not looking forward to it anymore. No. Oh, here's one for you. Maidana versus Brandon Rios. Bear in mind how bad Rios looked against Soto.
Brandon Rios beats him.
Yeah.
He's been active.
He's still active, yeah. Even though Brandon is shot to bits as well, but he's been active. He's an active shot at least. Yeah, Maidana needs to knock it on the head before he gets hurt, to be honest. But it's his choice, isn't it? It's his choice. I've got money on Spence anyway by knockout. Him to knock out Garcia was like 5-4 at any stage. I thought that's quite a good bet. I'm pretty sure Errol's going to knock him out, to be honest. But I'm sure Mikey's seen something for him to take that fight. That's the only thing that kind of intrigues me. What's Mikey seen apart from a massive payday?
That he can eat pizza in training camp.
Yeah, it's true. What do you make of the shape he's in? Have you seen like some of the pictures of Mikey? What do you think?
I've seen some memes as well.
What do you think? What do you think?
He looks dry, doesn't he?
Yeah. It's
very dry.
He looks like he's just put it on all of his upper body, like all upper body kind of weight. Like, I don't know.
I don't think he looks bad. I just feel he doesn't look natural.
Yeah,
like I don't mean like steads or anything. I just feel this doesn't suit his body.
Not his weight class.
No, it's not. But let's see how he does. Like, he says that he thinks he's a little bit faster.
Yeah.
He's a little bit smarter. He's got a little bit better timing. And I wouldn't say he's completely wrong.
No. Did you watch did you watch that little face-off? That's quite interesting. I enjoyed that. The face-off they did. It's like HBO's one, but you know, I thought it's quite decent, to be fair. But yeah, Spence, I think Spence should do the job. I'm gonna wrap the stream up in a minute, actually. But what are your thoughts on Errol Spence? From what I see online, like people are kind of down for, like, they either think he's a hype job.
They either think he's unbelievable or he's trash.
That's what I see. Overrated. Yeah, that's what I see. How do you see him first?
I think. Look, the Kell Brook win in Sheffield. People will say, "Oh, he had his injuries, whatever, blah blah blah." It's a great
win.
Yeah. I think he's good.
Yeah, so do I. I think he's a very talented fighter. I think some people, just because of who he's aligned with, being with the PBC, you know, being with Heyman, I think a lot of people naturally are not going to give him a fair shake. But genuinely, I think he is. I think he's the real deal at welterweight. I think if you make Spence versus Furman, I'd pick Spence in a heartbeat. If you make Spence versus Garcia, Danny, Spence in a heartbeat. Spence versus Porter, I'm picking Spence. The only one I'm umming and ahhing about is Spence versus Crawford, and I'm still picking Spence. I genuinely think if you give him the fights, he'll prove he's the best. And I think stylistically, you know, he has a style that will give everybody problems at welterweight. I think he's the real deal, but time will tell. Time will tell.
Fair enough.
And some
he's
people
definitely awkward.
Yeah, he's southpaw, great body puncher.
Massive body puncher, brilliant at coming forward. Let's see if he beats Mikey Garcia.
That's true. We've got to see him do Mikey first, but I love the way he kind of always he maintains his balance very well. You know, you very rarely see Spence throw a shot, put himself in a position where he can't follow up or he can't get out. You know what I mean? He doesn't. Well, even though he's an aggressive fighter, he doesn't put himself in positions where, you know, he can be compromised very often. He's very technically sound.
Extremely.
Maintains his balance quite well. I think Spence is pretty good, to be honest. Out of all the PBC fighters, I'll be honest, I do kind of struggle to get excited about them, but I do like Spence. I think he's a very good talent. You know, he's one of those fighters, to me, kind of he almost has that Eastern European style in a sense. Do you know what I mean? How he goes about business.
He's definitely a come forward.
Yeah, he's a tough guy.
But he's got a good job as well. He does have skills. That's the other thing. He has skills.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's not like he just comes forward. He can box. That's the interesting thing for me. I'm interested to see if he'll box with Garcia for a bit.
I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Spence is taller, longer. Don't be surprised if Mikey struggles with it.
If Spence decides to box him, southpaw, catch him with counters, lean back, and then come forward and then take him out. Don't be surprised to see him pick his shots.
Yeah, I think
he could walk through him. He could lose. You never know in boxing.
You never know.
It's a weird sport.
But you know, like Manny Pacquiao, when he moved through all those weight classes,
yes,
you could tell Manny had something special. Like you could tell he had just that super high ceiling where, you know, he could defy the odds time and time again. To me, Mikey, yes, he's technically sound. Yes, he's a good boxer. To me, he doesn't have that vibe about him.
He doesn't have special.
Yeah. And maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see it.
If Mikey Garcia beats Errol Spence, he's pound for pound #1.
It's a good shout.
Mate, he's a 5-weight world champion with a win over Errol Spence.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true.
That's literally the biggest guy at welterweight right now. That's a world champion.
Yeah.
He's bigger than Porter, he's bigger than Thurman, and he's bigger than Crawford.
Okay, it's a good question to sort of end the stream. What's a better fight? Crawford versus Khan or Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence?
They're about one-sided. They're both exceptionally one-sided fights.
Yeah.
They're both fights that most people will believe that the favourites are winning heavily, and they have heavy favourites for a reason.
Yeah.
Amir Khan went life and death with Samuel Vargas, not Jesse Vargas, Sammy. Right? Yeah. Personally, I think Crawford's too good for him.
Yeah.
I think Mikey Garcia would beat Khan at welterweight right now.
Yeah.
I actually believe he would beat him at welterweight. I think he beat Samuel Vargas comfortably too at welterweight. So I'd say Mikey and Spence is actually the better fight.
I'm going to say Crawford Khan just because we get to see Khan do a silly little dance.
We get to see him do a silly little dance, but what's the more competitive fight?
I think we're about the same, mate, to be honest. Because I could see from a stylistic point of view that Khan could win rounds and give Crawford problems.
And I can see Crawford timing him.
Yeah, until he walks into something. Yeah.
Until he sits on one of his shots with one of his flashy ass. It dropped.
Then he'll throw an uppercut from like the outside, like he did against Danny Garcia, getting knocked out. Like, do you remember that? He against Danny, like he was winning the fight and he threw an uppercut from like 3/4 distance, like way out of position, and just gets clocked with that left hook. Like stupid punch to throw. Why do you throw that?
He's a genius. He's a genius, that's why.
Yeah, no, he'll make a mistake and Crawford will catch him. But I think Khan will have more success against Crawford. I don't know, actually. Will he? I don't know. They're both mismatches. We'll end it at that. They're both mismatches. But yeah, I'm gonna call this one a stream. Thank you for coming on, mate.
Appreciate it.
I'll probably do one over the weekend at some point. Everybody in the chat, as always, check out Unrivaled Boxing Talk. He's got a channel himself. Give him a follow, give him a subscribe. And yeah, until the next one, peace out.